Today's video is how to use Rishi and Chaga mushroom in a convenient, affordable tea to build your immune system. A little bit about me: when I was a kid, I had tons of allergies and got sick a lot, and so it became really important for me to try to do a lot of healthy things at a young age. So Rishi, if you're not familiar with Rishi, just a quick brief thing about Rishi. Rishi has been used for over 1,000 years in the traditional Chinese medicine system. It is considered one of the apex tonic herbs in their system, and considered to be a tonic that you can use for your entire life. They call it the mushroom of immortality. It's an immunomodulator, so if your immune system is suppressed, it lifts it up. If your immune system is going amped up too much, it mellows it out. It has a slight mellowing effect, so it's a nice thing to add to coffee or tea in the morning. I actually today I'm drinking coffee, sometimes I drink tea. One interesting thing that when I was researching mushrooms that I found out, 60 to 70% of pharmaceutical drugs are derived from fungus. So I just want to give you a quick little system of what I do in the morning. I think it's super important, and you can hear I have a little bit of a cold. I don't never get sick, but I get sick a lot less, and I have a lot less allergies, and I feel just overall more generally healthy. So what Rishi can be really expensive, and there's all kinds of supplements that you can take that will cost you a lot of money. So what I like to do is I'm always trying to find the bulk, cheapest way to get the best foods and tonic herbs. So I buy, this is a 2-pound bag of which I've used maybe a half or more. So it was filled up to about here when we got it. And then I'll take, another thing that I think is really important when you're trying to do a health regimen is to not add a bunch of new things. So the point is to try to take something, try to do something that isn't adding to your life, but it's just tweaking it a little bit, so it's not a whole bunch of extra work, and then you're adding a new health component to something that you already do. So in the morning I drink, I'll either drink a coffee or a tea, and I will create a Rishi and Chaga base in this pot right here, and then I just use that base and then add either caffeinated tea if I want that, or I'll add it to my coffee water. So in that case, these things they're a slightly bitter tone, which is the same as a coffee or a black tea. So if you do drink those kind of drinks in the morning, it's a similar flavor. If it's very strong, then it can be a slightly strong flavor, but you can always dilute it down and use less. Rishi and Chaga are pretty much you can use all the time. The only thing you have to worry about with Rishi is if you're on blood thinners, because Rishi does have a slight blood thinning effect. But other than that, you should be able to take it in most any cases. So I'm just going to show you really quick what I do here. I just take a big handful of the Rishi and I just dump it in the pot. I'll probably use a little bit more than that. And then another thing I would say is that you can get the Rishi powder, but personally, I have to choke down the powders when I drink it in teas and stuff. I mean, if you're doing smoothies, I'm sure the powder is fine, but if you're doing teas, I really like the chopped or the sliced. Sometimes they're hard to find. One other point about using mushrooms, especially Rishi, because a lot of it comes from China. Mushrooms break down all compounds in their mycelium in the ground and then bring them up into the fruiting bodies, but they can't break down heavy metals. So if you're getting mushrooms that aren't organic, they're breaking down any heavy metals in that environment and drawing them up into the fruit bodies. So you're giving yourself doses of heavy metals. So you got to get organic. No matter what. Pretty much all your mushrooms either have to be wild or organic. Don't get conventional mushrooms. They'll bioaccumulate the heavy metals, and you'll just be ingesting heavy metals. So I got about as much as I want in there of the Rishi. And then the Chaga, I'll just take about a 1/4 cup of the Chaga and put it in there. So that's the basic system, and then I just add water to it. Right now I'm using the Berkey filter to add water to the tea. Berkey is by far the best water filter I've ever had. The taste is amazing. And there's lots of reviews that show how good it works at getting rid of toxic compounds. I'll fill this thing up and then just cook it. And then here's the thing that I think is really good about this system. I'll just fill this water up and I'll keep using it day after day after day after day and adding more water to it each time. This thing that I got right here, it'll last me 3 to 4 weeks. So this whole system here, this is going to last me, you know, 8 months to a year. So I'm spending a bit of money up front on these, but then that lasts me almost a whole year. So like I said, I got a little cold right now. So normally I just go and I just have a small dose, a light dose of the Rishi and the Chaga. But since I got a little cold right now, I'm going to make a real strong batch. And then I'm going to add that to my coffee or tea and have that over the next couple of days. And I'm 90% sure it's just going to blast this little bug right out of me. The other thing I wanted to say was I basically will cook this thing every day in the morning. I'll heat it up, then I'll add it to my water for my coffee or my tea. And as long as there's still some color in the water, there's some compounds that are getting out. So I'll just use that until I feel like I need another strong dose. So it's boiling now, so let's go ahead and just take some off. So also, I don't worry about cooking it an hour the first time like they say in a lot of like the traditional Chinese medicine doctors say to do when you do just the batches that you're prescribed. Because I'm going to be cooking it over time, over so many days, that it doesn't really matter. I'm going to get those compounds. They're going to leach out because I'm basically doing a slow brew. As I'm heating it up and cooling it down and heating it up and cooling it down and heating it up and cooling it down. So since I've already had some coffee this morning, I'm just going to have a little half. I'll usually do a quart. I'm just going to do a half here. Half a quart, whatever that is. Is that a pint? That's a pint? So I'm going to do a pint. Alright. And then that's it. So I'll either take this and run it, here's my coffee grounds from this morning. I'll either take this and just, just pour it through and make Rishi coffee. So you don't have to buy those expensive things that they sell you like all pre-made up that cost you, you know, 20 bucks an ounce. You can just make your own. And then, or I'll just, you know, put a tea bag in there. That's what I'm going to do this time with this one. Just going to drop in a tea bag, a little black tea with my Rishi, and then that's it. I'll leave links to where I think you can get the Rishi and the Chaga and the Berkey in the description. Thanks for watching and have a great day.